Welcome back to my channel, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Here we dive into true stories that will chill you to the bone. Some mysteries remain unsolved, some monsters walk among us, and in every tale, the terror is real. Are you ready to uncover the truth? So let's get started. Imagine living in complete isolation. A lonely farmhouse on the edge of the woods, miles from any town. You wake up to find footprints in the snow, leading towards your home but never away. Strange noises coming from the attic, missing keys. At first, you brush it off, but soon it's undeniable. Someone is watching. Someone is inside your home. This is the story of Hinterkaifeck, a small, remote farmstead in Bavaria, Germany. In 1922, it was home to the Gruber family. Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, her two children Cecilia Jr. and Josef, and their maid, Maria Baumgartner, who had just arrived the day of the tragedy. Life was quiet at Hinterkaifeck, too quiet. The nearest neighbors were miles away, and yet, strange things began happening weeks before the murders. Andreas Gruber, the patriarch, had noticed strange things around the property. There were footprints in the snow, leading from the nearby forest to the house, but none going back. Tools and other items seemed to go missing only to reappear in different places. The family began hearing strange noises coming from the attic, footsteps, creaks, like someone was moving about up there. One day, Andreas found a newspaper in the house that no one in the family had purchased. The sense of unease grew. He even told neighbors about these occurrences but refused to leave the farm. Just a few days before the tragedy, the family's maid suddenly quit, claiming the house was haunted. Her replacement, Maria Baumgartner, would only work for one day before meeting her untimely death. On the night of March 31st, 1922, something unimaginable happened. One by one, each member of the Gruber family, including the new maid, was brutally murdered with a mattock, a type of heavy farming tool. 4 of the victims were lured into the barn where they were killed. The youngest, Josef, just 2 years old, was murdered in his crib, and Maria was attacked in her bedroom. The bodies weren't discovered until days later, when neighbors noticed the family hadn't been seen. When they entered the house, they made a terrifying discovery. The family's bodies were stacked in the barn, covered in hay. But the killer had stayed on the property. Whoever had committed the murders lived there for days, taking care of the livestock, cooking meals, and continuing life as if nothing had happened. The crime scene itself was chilling. Despite the brutal nature of the murders, the farm looked oddly normal. It was clear that the killer had taken the time to settle in, giving the impression that they were comfortable in this house of death. The police had a hard time finding solid leads. Several suspects were questioned, but no one was ever arrested. Theories range from disgruntled workers to an unknown lover of Victoria, who was rumored to be in a relationship with her father, Andreas. Some speculated that Victoria's husband, long thought dead in World War I, may have returned under a new identity and committed the murders. One of the most chilling theories suggests that the killer had been living in the house for days or even weeks before the crime. Perhaps they were the one making those noises in the attic, watching and waiting. Others have speculated about a drifter or someone from a nearby town with knowledge of the family's wealth. But despite exhaustive searches, the true identity of the Hinterkaifeck killer remains a mystery. After the investigation stalled, the farm itself was demolished a year later, but the case still haunts Germany to this day. The local townspeople spoke of strange occurrences at the farm before and after the murders, stories of ghostly sightings, and even strange noises echoing from the demolished grounds. To this day, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of the most disturbing and perplexing unsolved crimes in history. The sense of isolation, the eerie occurrences leading up to the murders, and the fact that the killer may have lived with the bodies for days afterward still sends chills down the spine. What really happened that night on the Hinterkaifeck farm? Was it a disgruntled worker, a spurned lover, or something far more sinister? One thing is certain. This unsolved crime remains one of the darkest and most mysterious cases in the annals of true crime. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more unsolved mysteries and real-life horror, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video.